Hey everybody, a few months ago I released a video about having an emotionally absent mother. And many of you wanted me to expand on that topic and talk more about fathers who were also emotionally unavailable. So that's what we're gonna do today. But first, are you new to my channel? Welcome! I release videos on Mondays and on Thursdays, so make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on so that you don't miss out. Father involvement luckily has increased dramatically over the past few decades. Many fathers are not okay with only being a distant breadwinner, opting to spend more time at home and participate more in parenting overall. But many of us did not grow up that way, instead having an abusive, absent, or completely unreliable father. Spending our childhood wanting for more or trying to be perfect enough to get their attention and love. Even though this hurt occurred when we were younger and possibly still living at home, we can take these unhealthy lessons with us when we leave and continue to apply them to our relationships for the rest of our lives. The book that I found to be the most helpful when creating this video was The Unavailable Father by Sarah Sims Rosenthal, because she not only gives us ways to heal, but she also shares stories from other people who've had similar struggles. It's an incredible resource, and I cannot recommend it enough. And I'll put a link in the description if you want to pick up one yourself. Now, Sarah addresses the 6 types of unavailable fathers that we can encounter in our life. And the first is the disapproving father. 2, the mentally ill father. 3, the substance abusing father. 4, the abusive father. 5, the unreliable father. And 6, the absent father. And it's important to note that we can have combinations of these 6 types. Our father could be abusing alcohol as well as being physically abusive to us. Or he could shift from one type to another over the whole time during our childhood and over the time that we lived at home. Whatever your experience has been, just know that you're not alone. And there are things that we can do to heal so that we don't keep creating unhealthy relationships with men throughout our entire lives. Kind of as a result of how our father was to us, we don't want to take all of that baggage and put it in our new relationships, right? Another video I love that talks about just how important the first year of our life is for attachment and all that good stuff is this one from Life Noggin. Not only am I good friends with the team over there, but I always enjoy learning more from their content. And you can also click the link in the description if you want to check it out. Now let's get into how we heal from having an emotionally unavailable father, because it's not just enough to even understand that it's happening. It's more important that we know how we can grow and overcome it. And the first step is to figure out what type of father you had. Was he never around? Was he always drunk or angry? Did he have a mental illness that made him unpredictable and easily upset? Consider the 6 types that I just mentioned and note which ones you feel represent your relationship with your father best. The second step is to recall how you were really treated by your father as a child. And this can take some internal and external research. You could journal, talk to your siblings or your other parent or even your father if it's safe and something you're able to do without blaming or fighting with him. Do whatever you need to do in order to figure out just what it was like for you. And remember that you were young. And although it may not seem like that big of a deal to you today, it could have been when you were young. Just like I've talked about before, how we have those little T's or little traumas that happened when we were children. When we look back as an adult, they may not seem like much. And that's why it's really important to remember how it felt back then to you at that age. And I know that this is really painful and it can be really hard, so it may be safest to do this work in therapy if you can. Number 3, recognize what coping skills or defense mechanisms you used back then that helped you survive. Did you hide yourself in your schoolwork, hoping that your perfect grades would make him finally happy and loving towards you? Did you try to go unnoticed so that you wouldn't upset him? Were you afraid to have friends over because you didn't know if your dad was going to be angry, drunk, or acting crazy? You can also ask your close friends or family members about this as well, because they may help you remember things that you could have stuffed down and tried to forget. Number 4, after we know what we did to help better manage, consider which of those coping skills or defense mechanisms are still active in your life today. Are they holding you back from having the happiness you deserve? Do you still utilize some of those tools and techniques to keep yourself safe? Maybe you're still a workaholic or you try to go unnoticed in any situation. Pay attention. Maybe start journaling or even asking your friends if you do any of the things that you noticed you did when you're younger. Because we've already done that research, right? We know the coping skills and defense mechanisms we tried out. See if we're still doing those. Write them down. Ask people. And that way we know which ones are still affecting us and potentially keeping us from living the life and having the relationships that we deserve. Fifth, come up with some new ways to think and behave that are more in line with what we want to get out of our life. Meaning that some of the defense mechanisms or coping skills we're still using don't really serve us anymore, and they're actually holding us back. I've talked about this in relation to like self-injury or eating disorder behaviors. They used to really help, and they helped us get through shitty times, but now they're just making things worse. So consider what we can do differently to move us in a more happy and healthy direction. Now, these are not distraction techniques, but instead actions that we will take that go against our unhealthy urges or patterns of behavior. It could be leaving work on time. Shocker, right? Instead of always staying really late. Or challenging ourselves to say yes to that person at work who's always asking if we want to go grab lunch with them. Maybe it's allowing people to get to know us a little bit better and not push them away so quickly. What is it for you? Think about it. Write down some ideas and consider what would make you happy if there wasn't any risk of it not turning out well or anybody, turning us down or being upset. What would you do? What would you prefer to do? And finally, try it out. This is by far the hardest part, but we won't know if we don't try. And this will work out best if before we even try, kind of a between step between 5 and 6, is that we first build up our courage and self-esteem. Start speaking more kindly to yourself at the end of each day, talking about things you're grateful for maybe. Read and reread loving cards or letters you've received over the years. Go through happy photos that you've taken with friends. Ask close friends to share with you why they like you. I know this can be really awkward, but just let them know that you're working on yourself and wanting to feel better. And I have no doubt, if they're real friends, they'll be more than happy to help. Once you begin to feel a bit better about yourself, try out some of those new ideas. Ask that colleague to grab lunch with you. Try out that new painting class that you've been eyeing. Be honest with a friend and let them get to know a little bit more about you. Obviously, it's still life, and things may not turn out perfectly. I'm sorry. I wish I could make it so that they would. But that's okay. With practice, we will see what things that we like and don't like, what people we like and don't like, and we'll begin to break free from the confines of our past. Just remember, children who had supportive and loving fathers from the get got a chance to try out things, succeed or fail, and try again. This video has been brought to you by the Kenyans on Patreon. If you would like to support the creation of these mental health videos, click the link in the description and check it out. Give yourself the same time and patience and know that it can get better. Now, I know this is a lot to take in, and I don't even feel like I've covered as much as I wanted to. So please let me know in the comments down below. Are there things that you've tried that have worked? Are there things you felt I left out? Let's keep the conversation going as we work together towards a healthy mind and a healthy body. And I will see you next time. Bye.